Welcome back to Sports by GSMC Podcast Network. I appreciate everybody for sticking with me through that break. If you are just tuning in, we just finished breaking down Jamaal Murray and the Nuggets' heroics as they hit the first buzzer beater of the NBA playoffs last night, taking down the Lakers to extend their lead in the series to 2-0. We're going to talk about a similar looking series in the Knicks 76ers in this segment, but before we do, remember that if you would like to be an even bigger part of the show than you already are, all you need to do is go to the link on screen right now. That's gsmcpodcast.net. Leave a tip or donation with a message in it. That message will pop up on the bottom of the screen for you, me, and everybody else around the world to see. We appreciate everything that you do give. We appreciate you all for tuning in and listening. Once again, if you would like to control what we talk about on the show, all you need to do is go to that link, gsmcpodcast.net. But like I was saying, we are going to talk a little bit about the Knicks 76ers series. They just had their second game in the series, which was also a great game. We had our first we last night was great NBA basketball. That's the playoffs that we've been waiting for. The weekend didn't really give us too many great games, but two tight games and two high octane series. Taking a look at the 76ers losing their second straight game to the New York Knicks, who finally got a great game out of Jalen Brunson. Joel Embiid still hasn't quite shown up the same way that at least I expected him to against a Julius Randle-less Knicks team. Knicks team that, without their big post presence, I thought he would dominate down low, get really whatever he wants, but Isaiah Hartenstein has been invaluable to the Knicks, defensively especially. There was a huge block he had down the stretch in this game to help secure this tight lead, this tight victory. But he's done a great job controlling the post. Like I was saying, when I was looking at this series at the beginning, I just did not see much of a chance for the Knicks to be able to slow down Joel Embiid in the post. And Hardenstein has done just an incredible job, really, down there. At least slowing him down, which is a really, really, really tough path. It's not easy to shut down a guy who is as big and strong and powerful as Joel Embiid in the post when you don't have your own big, strong, powerful guy like Julius Randle, who's usually down there protecting. Hold him. It's still a game by Joel Embiid. He still has a double-double, 34 points, 10 rebounds. But you are able to hold him to 50% from the floor, less than 50% from the floor. And, Hartenstein right there being a +1 in 30 minutes of game time is really impressive. Like I said, plus minus isn't everything. But when you can get a guy out there to give you 3 blocks, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 14 points in 30 minutes against Joel Embiid, it's a recipe for success. And the Knicks have found that there were some interesting whistles being blown in this game. And the Sixers definitely were not very happy with that, or I should say non-whistles. But the Knicks defense came up huge. A really underrated part of this Knicks success. We talked about it before the series. With OG Anunoby in the lineup, the Knicks are 20-3 overall. And they're now 22-3 after taking the first two games of the series. And what he does, while he's not lighting the world up on the offensive end, having 10 points on 40% from the field, what he does defensively, just the pressure he commits to people on the outside, is huge. He's shutting down at least one person a game. And if you can take some guy out by having OG Anunoby in there, that is huge for the series. Now, Joel Embiid did come out and call his shot. He said, "We are winning this series." He came out and he said it. So all props to him for coming out and being confident with that. And I still do believe that the 76ers have the ability to come back. See, that's the difference between this Lakers series and this Knicks series we're talking about. This Knicks series, it was a 3-point game, and it was a 7-point game. And in both of those, the Sixers are getting the points. They're scoring over 100 points each time. It's just their defense hasn't quite been able to shut down the Knicks. You look at the Knicks; all five of their starters got into double digits, points wise, in this last game. It was just great offense, great shooting. 40% from the field, 33% from three. It looks more like a normal game. I mean, when you compare the shooting numbers, they're very similar, which obviously lends itself to a tight game like this one. But the Knicks just made more plays defensively. You look at the block numbers; they both have 6 blocks, but you have Hartenstein in there on the inside coming up with huge clutch blocks, especially down the stretch to secure this victory for the New York Knicks. Very impressive performance by the Knicks, and I think being at home certainly helps. We talk about home court advantage, especially at the Garden, the kind of home court advantage that they have there, but you're going to Philly. Another huge place for home court advantage now. I expect this series to go 7. I didn't realize the Knicks were going to be capable of putting up this much of a fight. So all props to them. I did not think they'd be able to do this without Julius Randle, but if they're able to keep this up, they have almost a scot-free path to the uh, to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they'll match up most likely with the Celtics, the way that it looks like they're going. Now, I never want to look too far ahead. I just think the winner of this series is going to beat the winner of the Pacers and Bucks series. Just the way that I'm feeling. The Knicks, the way they're playing right now, if they can keep this up, they are definitely in conversation to compete in the East. It's tough when you're going to play some real great competition. You look at their path, it's not easy. You go through Joel Embiid and the Sixers, then presumably uh, we'll go with the higher seed. I still think that series in Indiana and Milwaukee is kind of a toss up, but then presumably, at least the way it's going right now through the first game, you get Giannis and the Bucks, because Giannis should be back at that point. And then you get the super team in the Celtics, and then if you win that again, you get my prediction, the Nuggets and Nikola Jokic. So that is a lot of huge, imposing big men, probably the 3 best big men in the league that you have to go through if you're the Knicks on the way to a title, and it's going to be really tough. I don't think they have the ability to make it through all of those big guys, especially without Julius Randle. Joel Embiid still isn't fully healthy. Looks like he kind of re-aggravated or nicked his injury in that first game. No, he's still out here playing, 40 minutes, 39 minutes, 40 minutes, putting up 34 points. So it's not like he's playing poorly. It's just they're going to need to kick it into higher gear. They need to step up on the defensive end a little bit, put more pressure on the outside shooting, because that's what's really been killing them. The shooting from the outside, they hit 10 plus threes in back-to-back games. It's a lot of three-point shooting. So I think the Sixers still have the ability to do it. Joel Embiid still believes in this team. He came out and he said that he basically guaranteed this series. So we love that for them. Good luck to the 76ers. Good luck to the Knicks. I'm very excited for the rest of the series. I think this is going to be one of the tighter contested series for all of the games, 4, 7, however many it takes. Very excited to see what happens when this series gets to Philly, if the Knicks are able to overcome that Philly home court advantage. But for now, the Knicks are dominating. I gotta take a little bit of an L on this one, but I do still believe in the 76ers with Joel Embiid. They still have the best player on the court, and I think they can start to pull out some of these close one-possession games because of him. Tyrese Maxey has been playing incredible too. Multiple 30-point games back-to-back against a really solid Knicks defense. So props to them, props to the Knicks. In our third segment coming up, we are going to take a look a little bit at the NBA Anonymous Players Vote being held by The Athletic every year. It came out yesterday, so we're going to talk about some of the big stories coming out of that, players feeling disrespected, respected players throughout the league, what the players think of each other in this bowl. So we'll break down all of that and more coming up next on Sports by GSMC Podcast Network.